It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wise discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
Hello there, South Mississippi. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Thank you for waking up with Wesley. So this morning we're tracking some rain chances and maybe some thunderstorms, some severe thunderstorm chances too. Let's get to the latest information. First of all, there's a severe thunderstorm watch. This was issued during Good Morning Mississippi. This goes until 1 p.m. today. So what's the deal with the severe thunderstorm watch? What's that? Well, it is there to tell you that conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms to form, like the ingredients are there. Now, if you actually get a severe thunderstorm to form, then a warning is issued. And once that happens, it's important to take cover and get away from the danger. So that's why it's important when you're under a severe thunderstorm watch. It's kind of like a heads up telling you that warnings are possible and you want to stay weather aware in case those warnings are issued for your location. Great way to do it, of course, is by having our First Alert weather app. Any warning issued for your South Mississippi location, you will be the first to know, the first to receive that alert. So what's the deal with this particular severe thunderstorm watch? Well, I dove into the details from the Storm Prediction Center, the entity responsible for issuing the watch. And I looked at the probabilities. They give a list of probabilities of what is possible in that watch area. And they say somewhere in the watch area, there's at least a medium probability of seeing damaging straight line wind gusts from thunderstorms. They also mention that there's a lower probability somewhere in the watch area of there being hail the size of a quarter or larger, as well as a brief or weak tornado. So fortunately for us, the tornado risk is pretty low. It's not zero, but it's pretty low. And also fortunately for us, the risk of large hail big enough to cause damage, is also pretty low. But the risk of those damaging straight line gusts is there. And there have already been reports in our region of wind damage from thunderstorms in parts of Louisiana and other portions of Mississippi to our northwest. There have been trees downed. There have been power outages because of the downed trees. So that's one thing we'll keep an eye on for, the possibility of that at some point today, maybe between now and 1 p.m. So that's our headlines. Scattered thunderstorms possible today. Severe thunderstorm watch until 1 p.m. Main concern, the damaging straight line gusts, but we can't rule out the potential for flooding rain, large hail, and a brief weak twister. So here's a look at some of the latest adjustments to the rain chances. Earlier today, I was more confident, so I had a higher rain chance, 70%. I've lost some of my confidence now. Why? It's because of the timing. The line has slowed down compared to when we were watching it earlier today. And so that brings me less certainty with knowing when it was to arrive. You remember this graphic I made for Good Morning Mississippi today? I tried to get all cute with it and fine-tune the arrival time of the thunderstorms. I said it would arrive in Pearl River and Hancock counties by 8 a.m. You're watching, maybe you're watching from one of those counties. Is it storming there? And the answer is no. Also, I thought it would arrive in Stone and Harrison counties by 9 a.m. Clock is ticking. We only got 14 minutes left, and I seriously doubt the storm line will get anywhere close to past Christiana or Wiggins before the next 14 minutes. And then there's George and Jackson counties arriving by 10, but again, good luck because the storms haven't even hit New Orleans yet. So instead of getting too precise, which can decrease forecast accuracy, I can be less precise, and then I know I'm going to get it right. Instead of saying those hours, I can just tell you that, well, hey, these storms will get here at some point today, maybe. Oh, I got it right. Well, that was easy. But is it useful? Not really. So there's always a balance between accuracy and precision when it comes to forecasting. You might be able to give someone some really useful information by being really precise with it, but then if you're wrong, then it's not really useful at all. But I can guarantee you that I could be right by telling you it will possibly storm today. And yeah, that's correct, but it doesn't do you much good. A lot of accuracies, but not much precision. So let's take a look at that storm line and see what the current motion and trajectory is. You can see the first alert radar shows one important thing about this line. There's not as much lightning now as there was a while ago. But we got a counting tool. Let's put the lightning counter on this at the current moment in time, 8:48. Let's just count the lightning in this section of the storm. That's not even 100 strikes. Okay, so let's rewind this by 1 hour and reset my lightning counter. Now how many strikes of lightning do we have? 244, double what it is now. And I can tell you, a few hours earlier when we were tracking this line during Good Morning Mississippi, it was way more, or more than 1,500 strikes of lightning with this line around 5 o'clock this morning. So that's the trend that I've been noticing pretty steady, is that things are getting a bit weaker than they were earlier this morning. You know, what if? We like to talk about what ifs. What if it keeps getting weaker and just falls apart before it reaches here? I've seen that happen before. It wouldn't shock me. It would certainly be annoying since we were forecasting a pretty high rain chance today, but I'm not ruling it out. We didn't go 100%, but I'm not ruling it out that we could see some of this line deteriorating before it reaches the Mississippi coast today. You're also noticing kind of this trend right here near Pearl River County, where the line is certainly more stout. It's got more width to it. Down here, once you get closer to Lake Pontchartrain, this portion of the line is much skinnier, an indication of weakening. And so that means that if you are near the, let's do different colored circles. Let's do a red circle up here. If you are near the portion or downstream of the beefier portion of this line, which would be areas near Pearl River County and Stone County and George County, that might be where you still have that higher chance for rain. But if you're near the portion of this line that is showing a weakening trend, and I've already lost my arrowhead, let's try this one. If you're near the portion of this line that's showing a weakening trend, closer to New Orleans, closer to Slidell or Hammond, maybe your chance for rain will be decreasing. Maybe we'll, if we're confident enough in it, we'll take the chances down to 50%, 40%. We'll see what happens for the coastal zones. But right now, I'm just watching it. I'm leaving it at 60% for now. Now, we do have another tool at our disposal in the radar. It's the storm track or storm line tracker to try to get you an estimate of exactly where this is going to go. And the science behind it is pretty simple. I'll show you. I'll do it live for you right here. So first of all, where is this storm line setting at this moment in time? It's sitting on top of the Louisiana coast like that. So that gives us the current position of the storm line. But if we go and rewind the radar to 1 hour ago, and I apologize, I am facing some technical issues with my streaming here, so I may not be able to see my streamer like I like to see it, but I'm trying. Okay, so I'm having to use multiple screens to see this now, but I've tracked it. Okay, and now what we'll do is try to measure the distance. Nope, I'm kind of blind here. Okay, let's try here. There we go. 30. So it's moving, you know, where it is now versus where it was an hour ago. It does appear that it's moving about 30 miles per hour. Earlier this morning, it was moving at like 40 miles per hour. So now that we have the current speed, about 30, we could put a storm line tracker on it, tell the storm line tracker, hey, this is moving at about 30 miles per hour. And then that will give us the position of the storm into the future. And so let's see if we can get that going for us. The storm line tracker right here, make sure that the speed is set to 30. It's not, it's set to 25, so change that. All right, and then we simply draw the position of the line. I'm going to draw it to about right there, and then time it out toward the east. And then the computer spits out all of these random locations inside of that and gives you the estimated time of arrival. And in this first zone, this first blue box, that is a place where the storm line is expected to arrive within the next hour. So places like Hammond and Folsom. Now the second blue rectangle here is where the storm is expected to arrive within the next 2 hours. This includes Bogalusa, Louisiana, 9:54 a.m. Current time is 8:53, so they're just outside of the first 1 hour box, and right there in the very left portion of the second box, the 2 hour box. You'll see Slidell, 10:45, so they're basically on the line as well. Now this third box, the third blue box, is a 3 hour box, so that'll be 3 hours from now, 9:50, 10:50, 11:50. So somewhere getting closer to noon here, and as you can see, Waveland got 11:33 for their arrival time. And then this fourth blue box is the 4 hour arrival box. So you got Biloxi in there. That's about 4 hours from now, about 12:30 this afternoon compared to about 8:30 this morning. You can also see Gulfport at 12:01 for the arrival time. And then back here you've got the fifth box, 5 hour arrival time. And Pascagoula, I wouldn't say that's 5 hours from now. If we assume it's 9 o'clock right now, 10, 11, 12, 1, it's just over 4 hours from now, but it's more than 4, so that's why it's not in the fourth box, it's in the fifth one. So that's kind of a radar estimated arrival time, which is different from the numbers that we were showing earlier today when the line was moving more quickly. So sometimes that can happen. Sometimes the line can slow down on you. This is a look at the rain chances. Like I said, because things are getting weaker in parts of the line, maybe a part of the line falls apart, maybe down by the coast especially. So I'm less confident of the rain likely coming in, and now I'm kind of referring to it as possibly coming in for coastal areas where it's getting a little weaker. But for inland areas like Pearl River County, looks pretty likely. Your chance maybe will keep it at about 60 or 70% for the inland areas, but for the coast, it's looking lower. It's as high as 60. It might drop a little bit. I mentioned also one other thing before we go, that this morning's round of rain determines what the rest of the day is going to do. If you happen to get this morning's round of rain in your location, what that's going to do is deplete the atmosphere of its energy. It's going to remove that energy from the air. The thunderstorms, as they move in, they gobble up that energy, they take it in, and they produce rain and thunder as a result. And once the thunderstorm moves away, there's no more energy left in the atmosphere to make a new thunderstorm. But guess what? If there's going to be places that miss out on the thunderstorms, maybe along the coast, that means there's a better chance for you to see some new storms popping up out of nowhere later today. Just like you would get in the summertime, a little bubble up, pop up thunderstorm. That could happen anywhere that this line happens to miss this morning. So one way or the other, you're going to get some good chances for rain today. You'll either get it this morning and then the afternoon will be okay. Or if you miss it this morning, keep an eye out. There might be some pop-ups later this afternoon and evening where you are. So this pattern with daily chances for rain and storms not going anywhere anytime soon, I will say that it definitely is not as slam dunk. This type of pattern is very, it's unsettled, but it's not very focused. It's just kind of these waves of downpours, these clusters of thunderstorms that just kind of randomly move our way at least once a day. That's what we're looking at for Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Now Friday is a different day. Friday we actually will track a cool front moving in, and that brings a little bit more predictability to the forecast, although it is a late spring cool front, so even those are unpredictable. And then if we can get the drier air behind the front, then you can get the nicer weekend. Saturday, Sunday could feature slight drop in the humidity, could also feature cooler mornings in the 60s, and most importantly, could feature lower rain chance as drier air tries to move in. So hopefully that'll pretty much do it for our video this morning. I do see we did get one update while I was on, so I'll just look at this very briefly before we go. There was a special weather statement that came out that includes portions of Pearl River and Hancock counties. So there you go with that. And by the way, if you not only use our First Alert Weather app, but if you are on our WLOX First Alert Weather Facebook page, these videos are automatically sent out anytime these special weather statements are issued. A special weather statement is typically issued when there's a strong thunderstorm moving in, and just like I analyzed, it's that northern portion of that line near Pearl River County. That's what the National Weather Service appears to agree with me with. That northern portion of this line up here, right there. That's what triggered that special weather statement, as that's gonna be moving into Pearl River County this morning. They're under that special weather statement this morning until 9:45. So just keep that in mind. Parts of Pearl River County, parts of Hancock County as well, under that alert this morning. So we'll have more information on the forecast later this morning on our WLOX News Now at midday show. Tune in for that. Otherwise, that'll pretty much wrap it up for our update here. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Thank you for waking up with Wesley. Catch you again next time.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.